What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, happy Labor Day.
I wish more people would work on Labor Day. I think it's a sort of national day of laziness, but I want to clear something up. A lot of talk about my health, and I not have a stroke.
What was
I,
that? What did you just say?
I not have a stroke. I am very health and strong and speaking with great speech. I'm talking with great talk. I talk the talk and I can walk what you do when you walk. You walk the walk.
Of course, of course. I wanted to get into your health. I mean, you are a very active president, playing golf, active on social media, active in meetings with other countries, acting as far as getting our country great again. Um, did you have any health complications or rumors of a stroke or multiple strokes? You allegedly, of course, you kind of were quiet for a couple of days, and people were worried.
This is the problem. I bought Ivanka tickets to see the Strokes, who are a group of musician people. And I think people misinterpreted that, along with my eye being three-quarters shut, as signs of stroke. But it's not signs of, it's the only stroke I have is a good stroke on the golf course. Like I'm not too many strokes behind. Do you golf?
I do golf, yes.
So, I know stroke on golf. I don't know stroke with health. My doctor recently told me, he said, I've never seen somebody so healthy in my life.
Hmm.
And, he works with Olympic athletes. So for him to say that about me shows you that I'm in top tier physical shape. And it means, yeah, I'm not speaking with any problems. It's just talking with great strength and talk.
Now, in
Talk
the
soup.
yes, in the news, your wrist, you were in Blackwrist. Why were you in Blackwrist?
That's a great, you know what? This might be, I don't know if you've had a title this month or this year yet, but that might be a title. We're going to put that in the running. Exactly. To protest wokeness, which is run amok. Everybody's claiming that my wrist is looks diseased, and no, what I did was I put big beautiful coal. I spread coal. We love coal. We spread coal on my hand to tell the people you're not going to make me go woke. And Michael Jackson was a black who wore a white glove. So why can't I be a white who wears a black glove? It's racist to not let me do it. And so I did it. And then people were complaining, and I didn't want to listen to them. But my wife, Melba Toast, said to me, Donald, you my makeup foundation on the hand because be best. And I said, darling, we don't know what the hell you're saying. But I took some of her makeup and put it on my hand because you know what they say, happy wife demands less in the prenup. So I put the makeup on my hand and then it looked like a Wayans Brothers white chick's hand. And nothing to do with health, though. The doctor looked at my hands and said, Sir, these are the biggest hands I've ever seen and the healthiest. He said that. The doctor said biggest and healthiest. So
Wow.
I think we're doing very strongly in terms of hand and health.
So you are strong bill of health. All these are rumors, nasty left-wing rumors.
And maybe rhino rumors, maybe, some of the
Mm.
nasty so-called Republicans. That's all it is. That's what, when we should be talking about important things like Sydney Sweeney and Cracker Barrel. These are the issues.
There's also another rumor that you have a body double. You have a double because you weren't feeling well, so you had this double make some public appearances.
That's totally false. That was because Chris Hemsworth attended an event of mine and people thought we were the same guy. No body double.
Okay. That's a total understandable mistake made by the public.
You know,
Um,
but then they hear us speak, and he talks like Michael C, but with like a deeper voice. Oh, I'm Thor, and I talk like a strong American man.
that's right. So I'm glad to hear that you're healthy. I'm glad to hear no strokes. Are you okay, Mr. President?
It's normal at 79 for it to come out of both ends
Yeah.
randomly.
As long as you have a clean bill of health and that's normal, that's
It's
totally fine.
actually the opposite of a human centipede if you think about it.
How do you figure?
Instead of me locking in with the other two, it's like I'm exploding the other two. It's actually called it's called defense against the centipede. It's a move I would use it in MMA if they would allow me to do MMA. Imagine a guy tries to go for what's it called? A rear naked rape face.
Yes, if you're naked rape face joke.
When they go for that move, all of a sudden you vomit on their hand. They're not trying to rape your face anymore. If somebody tries to come from behind and all of a sudden they get diarrhea exploding on their chest, they're going, "Oh, can't compete with this guy."
There was a match recently where a guy was being dominated and he actually stuck a finger in the other man's buttocks. What do you think of that move?
That is that
Aggressive?
is it's aggressive. That's probably secretly what most MMA fans want to see, if we're being totally honest about it. But it's against the rules, and he should have been executed, like my friends in Saudi Arabia would do if he had tried. If we do an MMA, let me tell you something. If we do an MMA on the
I
White House
saw an
lawn,
alleged MMA card at the White House and it looked insane. I don't think it was real, but the rumors are Dana White was saying that it's going to happen. And you are good friends with Dana White, aren't you?
oh, it is gonna happen. It's Dana White at the White House, white power, and we're gonna have it, and it's gonna be tremendous. Because we've really, the blood of slaves built the White House. Well, now the blood of MMA warriors will cover the White House.
And you are a big MMA fan, so you wouldn't have to travel far in your own backyard.
I mean, it's the greatest pay-per-view. Imagine if pay-per-view just came to your house instead of just being on TV. You order it on demand, and all of a sudden, cauliflower ear steroid wife beaters show up to your door and say, "Let's do this, sir." And you say, "Thank you, sir. Let's go. Let me get my popcorn. No butter, please, with Diet Coke."
And with all these alleged health scares, you're not changing the diet. McDonald's still rocking strong. Um,
I got to be 79 and president twice because of a strict regimen of number threes. As we know, a number two is what a regular person does. Mine are so big, they call them threes. I'm like the Steph Curry of poop. All I do is drop threes. And it's incredible. It's incredible. And so there's no reason to change the diet. I'm a very regular, fit person, 6'6", 220 pounds. So why would I change? And I got this far. If I was so unhealthy, I'd be dead.
it's true.
You don't survive getting shot in the ear if you're not healthy.
It's true. I mean, fillet of fish help block that bullet.
That tartar sauce is strong.
Mr. President, this person is now in the news again. Rudy Giuliani, former lawyer of
Oh,
yours. Rudy Giuliani. Um,
oh,
uh,
Four Seasons Landscaping. Yes, good guy.
he was your lawyer. Last time I think we spoke, he was still sending you bills. And he recently got into a very bad car accident. I think he broke some vertebrae. He's not well. And you decided to, out of nowhere,
And I will say this, we got a report. Apparently there was blood and hair dye all over the car.
but we also,
It
you're
looked
decide,
like 9/11 just for men inside the car.
but you are giving him the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yes.
Why?
You ever heard the term America's mayor?
Yes.
He was America's mayor. Nobody gets to, there's, America has a president. I don't know,
Mhm.
most people don't know this, but America has a president. But for one moment in time, a mayor was so great that we called him America's mayor. And America runs on Duncan. So you know if America's saying that, it means something. And he didn't fight Al Qaeda, but he walked around the city after they'd already blown up the World Trade Center. But
Mhm.
he walked very strongly. It was a very strong walk, and he calmed people in a time of tremendous sadness. He fought drugs and crime in New York. He was a prosecutor. He fought the mob, and then he walked around the city, and that was his crowning achievement. He walked uh, very strongly around New York City in the rubble, and people were very happy to see him. And he then was on Saturday Night Live. He made a joke that people liked. And then he had many affairs, which I of course respect. And and then he defended me, and he farted on what was her name, Jenna, the other lawyer in court. He farted on her, which was beautiful to see.
Mhm.
Because it was almost like he was reading my like internet search. Like old man farts on blonde in public is one of my top porn searches.
And the work was pro bono, wasn't it?
Uh, I think now he realizes it was pro bono. For many years he kept sending bills, and I would write pro bono, you dumb fuck, and mail them back to him. And I think he got it. I think he understood that, but it doesn't really matter now because uh, he's getting a medal from me and he's got a broken vertebrae, so I'm pretty sure he's not going to collect. And we love him and we respect him greatly. Tremendous respect for America's donut, Duncan. Duncan Giuliani.
That's you're gonna call the award Duncan Giuliani.
You get a coffee and a free award from the president if you order by 10 a.m. on Tuesday.
Speaking of branding, I mean, I think you should team up with Duncan for this one huge rollout the day he receives the Medal of Freedom, a deal for from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Well, the Giuliani donut, you know what it's going to be?
What?
It'll be a broken cruller because his vertebrae is broken, but with chocolate frosting dripping down the side like it did on his hair.
I like it. It's awesome. Um, I can't wait till he gets the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And speaking of awards and medals, you are campaigning for the Nobel Peace Prize, and you recently received a nomination from Pakistan. Congratulations. And you're
But
waiting for,
you know what a big fan I am of nuclear armed Muslim countries, so it's a great honor for Pakistan to nominate me.
I mean, what American isn't a fan?
It's always been a passion of mine. Nuclear armed Muslim countries. I've always been very strong and open to places like that. So I thank them. Thank you, Afghanapak, for nominating me very strongly. It's a great honor, and it deserved. I think I can say it's deserved. So thank you very much, Pakmanistan.
Afghanistan.
Well, I don't know what's so funny. They nominated me for a Nobel Peace Prize. You should show them some respect.
Oh, goodness. And for some reason you increased India's tariffs by 50%. Is that just random? Is that strategic?
Well, Nathan Modi, and you've heard me talk about Nathan Modi many times. We were
Yes.
friends. We had a strong. He wasn't at the Shinzo level. Nobody's at the. You know that nobody's at the Shinzo level. That's a Hall of Fame friend, and we miss him. And I miss him so much that I almost don't even make jokes on the show about him because he was that good a guy. But Modi was like second tier friend. He was a guy we had similar approaches to government. We embraced each other. We were friends. He gave me a tremendous welcome, and we gave him a tremendous welcome. And then all of a sudden, I say, Nathan, and he says, Sir, my name is Narendra. And I said, That's what I said, Nathan. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. can you nominate me for the Nobel Peace Prize because I made peace? I forced you to have peace with Pakistan. And he said, you did no such thing, sir. And I said, excuse me? And he said, you did no such thing. And didn't even say, sir, the next time. That's when you know we're in a fight.
Hmm.
And so I said, you're either going to nominate me for the Nobel Peace Prize because Obama has one, and I'm going to have to, I'm going to die very sad if I don't get the same things that Obama has. And he said, but you didn't do this, sir. We made the peace. I run India. I made the deal. And I said, you son of a bitch. Let me tell you something, you hat wearing yoga freak. I don't know what they call it, turban. What do they call it? It's not a turban. What's the thing they wear? Anyway, you red dot son of a gun. And he said, you've insulted me. And I said, well, guess what? 50% tariff. And he said, for what? Not nominating you for the Nobel Peace Prize? That's ridiculous. And I said, keep talking. It'll be 80%. And he shut the hell up. And it's at 50% now. So I think I won. And that's called making peace because if you look at what I've done, I'm going to tell you what I've done. A lot of people play chess, some play checkers. I play Go Fish, as
Of
you know.
course you
It's a
do.
very long-standing strategy of mine. Think of the piece I just made. Now Modi, mad at me. He doesn't realize the game I'm playing. He has now taken his 1.2 billion Indians and nuclear weapons and is now holding hands with Xi of China with their billion people and nuclear weapons and with Putin with their nuclear weapons and like 300 million people. So I have managed to unite 300, maybe 3 billion people with nuclear weapons who all hate me to be peaceful. Now they're united together. And I think that is, now I do deserve, now if he didn't take, he doesn't even realize I created a new piece. It's like Inception. It's like Peace Prize Inception. He thought I was just talking Pakistan and India, but now above that, I have united one of our allies with nuclear weapons to abandon us and form a treaty and a team with two huge countries with weapons and that hate us.
It's perfect.
That's incredible peace, man. Nobody could do that. Nobody could do that. That would
That
be
is
like if you went to, okay, if you go to the park to play basketball, okay? You're like, I want to play basketball, and you pick up a couple of friends. And then, you do what I would do. You see some Los Angeles Lakers and you call them the N word. And then you see the Celtics and you call them honkies. And then the Celtics and Lakers form together to join a team. And then your friend Michael Jordan shows up to the park and you say, what up, my N-word? And he doesn't like the fact that you say the N-word. So he goes and joins the Lakers and the Celtics, and now you and your friends have to play the Lakers, Celtics, and Bulls together with nuclear weapons.
sounds very
Who could have
N-
brought peace to the
NPP. Sounds very NPP. Very Nobel Peace Prize of you.
Oh yeah, you know me. I'm down with NPP. And remember Treach?
Will, what was it?
Treach?
Dredge?
Treach. We call him Treach. I thought it
Yes.
was I
Great
thought it was
guy.
short. I thought it was short for Treacher, like a school teacher. Or Jack Treacher on Amazon Prime. I just think that if there was somebody who could unite Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson, you'd say this is a negotiator like we've never seen. And
Of
that's sort
course.
of what I did. That's sort of what I did, and nobody's going to honor it. Nobody's going to honor it, but I should absolutely be the Nobel pizza pie prize.
um, Mr. President, let's just get into questions here. It is the first episode of the month. Before we get into our questions, if you'd like to submit some questions, join the Patreon, patreon.com/mpga. You can give some questions for the president to answer on the first episode of the month. Join bonus episodes, tons of live episodes, special guests. You don't want to miss out. Fred Trump traditions, hundreds of hours of bonus content. So
Hold
check it
on.
out.
We're at
Patreon.com/mpga.
The radical left is shutting down my battery. I'm just going to close my video and strongly get the battery pack.
Okay, that's not a problem. Can you
We're
still
going
talk
to
to
get
us?
battery pack. You got to get the battery if they don't like the battery.
Are you still allowed to talk, or you have to go somewhere else to get the battery? Okay, I guess you're going somewhere else to get the battery, which is fine. So yes, join the
To the people
Patreon,
tech stuff. I don't know what the hell you're saying, but you got to talk to the
patreon.com
people
slash
because I got a
MPGA,
show and
everyone.
I got a
Um,
show in New Zealand. You got to come do it.
Kavanaugh had a show. You can listen to his show. Um, Fred Trump Traditions, special guests, and live episodes as well. Check it out. $5 a month for the minimum rate, and you can check out all the bonus material. Patreon.com slash
Well, plug the
MPGA.
Patreon. He's plugging the
Our
Patreon away.
president is getting pretty with his new camera, and here we
We're
are
back. We're
with
back. We're
the
back. We're
we're
stronger than
back.
ever. No stroke.
Here we go. Our first question comes from our current vice president. Our president did not. Our president, vice president didn't post a question, so we're going to go with our vice president, Michael C. Dr. President, sir, how did it feel when the radical left seemed so happy and hopeful that you might be dead on Friday?
It's
Kind
what
of
we
went over
ex-
this, but
That's
what's your
okay.
opinion?
It's what we expect from the radical left. They're such horrible people. They're such terrible. They're not good Christians like us. And that's why I hope if you're radical left, that your houses burn down and your pets and children are in the house while it burns down, and then you have to watch it, but then you die later from smoke inhalation. So you deal with the tragedy of losing your pets and your children, and then once you've processed that, smoke inhalation death at the hospital, like on This Is Us, and that's what I want for the radical left because I'm a Christian who doesn't like their nastiness with regards to my life. It's a president, and it's a tragedy. If I was even sick, which I was not, by the way, not sick at all. It's called total health.
Fake news again, Mr. President. This comes from Ted Cruz's neighbor. Dear Mr. President, with football season starting, my friends and I were talking about what were some of the best football movies of all time. My top three were Rudy, Remember the Titans, and Brian's Song. Never saw Brian's Song. What do you think of that list?
Okay, Rudy is a solid choice because it's always nice to see a white person get to overcome DEI. And
To overcome adversity.
well, DEI was what was standing in his way. And then you saw the black receiver put his jersey down. I said, "That's right. You don't deserve that spot, All American. I'd rather have a white Rudy than a black All American because I can trust that Rudy is there on merit."
Rudy Rudiker.
That's right. Played by Sam Gamgee from The Lord of the Rings. Uh, the next movie is one of the worst movies that's ever been made. Remember the Titans, which was literally, I think it might have started DEI. And I don't think it was a coincidence that after the movie, this is the worst part. It was bad enough seeing oh, okay, we have to treat the blacks and the white team equally and join together and be woke. After the movie, a white player dies in a car accident. They're like, every other black player is like, he went on to this university and is now a pharmacist and he has a family. And then they're like, remember the white star? Dead in a car accident. Horrible, very horrible. And Brian's song, I think, had Sonny from The Godfather, and I think somebody died in it. And of course, I believe it was a white guy who died. I think it was, yeah, because the black running back, I think it was Gale Sayers, which is a very feminine name for a running back. Tech stuff, have you ever noticed a lot of black NFL players, they'll have like a woman's name, but then they'll be very jacked black guys like a Shannon Sharp or a Gale Sayers.
Mm-hmm.
You think you're meeting like a hot, imagine somebody said, yeah, I'm going on a date with Shannon Sharp. I'd be like, is she a very hot, busty porn star? Actually, the exact opposite. Couldn't be more opposite than what you think you're going on a date with.
A double date with Shannon Sharp and Gail Sayers.
Oh boy, these hot. I got Shannon. I'm calling Shannon. She sounds hot as fuck. And then all of a sudden you get there and he's bending you over and drooling on you when he lisps. He's going, pick him off. And you're like,
Right
I
now
did not sign up for this.
he's not talking that much right now though. He's in hiding.
And let me tell you, yeah, he was with an OnlyFans model. Her name was probably also Shannon.
But there was alleged, you know, bad behavior on his part.
We call those allegations woke feminist nonsense. Uh, and then so Brian's song. So basically, I think your list is awful football-wise. I think number one football movie, The Program.
Of course.
Number two football movie, I would say The Last Boy Scout.
I was gonna say that.
Love The Last Boy Scout. I remember when I first saw that in the theater, I said, this is a, and shout out to Bruce Willis. Shout out to Bruce Willis, one of our great action stars, not doing too well, but he's a great guy, great action star, and even greater ex-wife, Demi Moore, arguably the hottest woman in American history.
What's your third one?
My third movie, so we've got, I would say, you know what I liked? Any Given Sunday, even though Oliver Stone is a total nut. I liked Any Given Sunday a lot. I thought that was very strong in terms of football.
A lot of good monologues. How about Necessary Roughness? You ever see that one?
It
The
was
Texas
sin.
State
It
Armadillos.
was sin bad. That would be my review of that movie.
I freaking love that movie growing up.
I'll tell you what you know what could actually, I think what it could, I'll tell you this right now. I'm going to bump Any Given Sunday because of their nasty director who's insane and left. The Replacements with Keanu Reeves and the late great Gene Hackman. Keanu Reeves and Gene Hackman. Great movie, very fun, and very anti-labor. You know, it's a very anti-union movie. It's like they go on strike, so they bring in other people to work. It's a very strong football movie with a hot cheerleader and tremendous, uh, you know, things.
We're going to stay on the football. This comes from Nick Wilson. Sir Doctor, 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 Your Holiness, Mr. President, sir. I was just wondering if you had a Super Bowl prediction for the upcoming NFL season. You have never let me down, and I need to know whom to bet my life savings on. Thank you, sir.
Well, we love Nick Wilson. Nick Wilson, of course, of Pittsburgh. They love me in Pittsburgh. Very strong in terms of strength. I'm going to say something that I think Nick Wilson will like, and not a lot of people are going to have this. I've got Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers going to the Super Bowl.
It's crazy.
Well, we'll see how crazy it is. We'll see how crazy it is. I know that from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. personally, that Aaron Rodgers has been doing a lot of herbal remedies and potions. He's been doing potions, which you don't really hear about that often in pro sports. He's been doing potions and training for the season that will really shock people.
Do potions come up on the drug test?
No, they don't because they're magical and they can avoid drug tests. That's why we're really interested in the efficacy of potions. We might be giving potions to children in our schools if this works out.
Are you
But
saying the Steelers are going to win it or
I'm
get to the
saying,
Super
well,
Bowl?
wait, excuse me.
Okay.
I've got Steelers in the Super Bowl. Okay,
Versus.
I've got them versus the Detroit Lions. Big Dan Campbell. That is a big coach. That guy could probably still play. We love Dan Campbell. And so I am going to say, I hope that's good enough for Nick Wilson because I think the Detroit Lions defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl by a score of 69 to 48. High scoring Super Bowl.
Very high scoring.
Record
Uh,
setting, I think.
that would be the first time ever where I think a team has lost their both offensive and defensive coordinator and then go on to win the Super Bowl. That would be very impressive.
Is it the Steelers or the Lions?
The Lions.
Well, look at see. So you think both picks are crazy, and they said it was crazy that Trump could be president. So when you have a Lions Steelers Super Bowl, Nick Wilson, you send a thank you to your president. You also send a message to Tech Stuff Guy saying you're fired.
This question comes from DJ McConnell. Mr. President, sir, after providing Ashley Babbitt a funeral with full merit military honors, will you be providing any other state funerals for our great people like Roy Den Hollander? Thank you.
Roy Denton Hollander is actually getting I believe his ashes are currently being pissed on by many people, and we're going to be removing those ashes and moving them to Arlington National Cemetery, where they can be properly honored for men's rights. So thank you for bringing that up. That's very important that we do that. And we are also going to be digging up the grave of Fred Trump and giving him a full real estate military funeral, which a full real estate military funeral is what we do is we line up 21 poor tenants of color from my father's buildings and we shoot them with 21 guns.
It's very nice. It's very
So
nice.
thank you for asking. It's important that we honor people who've been disrespected in the past.
We're going to go to Robbie Mills. Sir, Mr. President, inspiration to us all, sir. My great apologies if this has already been asked, but if you could bring any other person back from the dead, friend, family, romantic interest, celebrity, or historical figure into your life, who would it be and why? I think maybe you've had maybe a dinner or meet someone, but not someone to bring back in your life as a friend.
That's a great question. I think I would probably want to bring back because she died so young. I would probably bring back Marilyn Monroe because
I thought you were
she,
gonna say Aaliyah. Okay.
no, but we can always try again if Marilyn Monroe doesn't work for me. We could pick ourselves up and try again. Uh, but no, I think Marilyn Monroe because she died at a young age. So if we brought her back, she'd still be hot. That's one of the things I always wonder about when I get to heaven. Is it going to be 30-year-old Ivana waiting for me from the golf course, or is it going to be the old sloppy one that died recently? Because that doesn't sound like heaven to me. Congratulations, sir. Here are your wives and whores and girlfriends and side pieces, all at the age during which they died. Oh, good. Now I look like I'm, at a funeral home having sex. Nobody wants that. So
No.
I would say Marilyn Monroe because she was attractive. She died young, so she would be coming back young. And she was from a different time where
She
when
was
power
fun.
and she was fun, and also she was fun to the men who were nice to her, and she didn't file police charges to the men who were mean to her, which is why can't women be like that? Remember, there was a time where women just said, I guess that's just the way the world is, and men could be men. And now there's police reports and rape kits and all sorts of woke nonsense. Make women Marilyn again.
Woke nonsense.
And ripped off your dress like a candle in the wind.
This next question comes from Jay Furman. Doctor, Mr. President, sir, my wife and I will be visiting the Trump Kennedy Center for Patriotic Arts to see a production of The Sound of Music next weekend. I'm very worried about having to see woke content and was wondering how you are planning on reworking the plot so that it isn't so unfair to after 16 going on 17. Will you be having him appointed as Attorney General so that he can look into Captain Von Trapp's mortgage application after his disloyalty to the fatherland? Thank you, sir.
First of all, you know why everybody hates Germany because they called their country the fatherland. Everybody else pretends like countries are mothers. Africa's motherland, every ship is she. And Germany said, what about the men? What about the men? And we come from the fatherland. And I've always respected that about them. They were very pro men's rights. Um, I got a little muddled there in the beginning. I have to confess, I've never seen Sound of Music, but I hate music and so it sounds unappealing to me. But I would say We are using AI. We're very pro AI. We're doing great things with AI. We're gonna have, you know that one where she's singing in the hills are alive with some bad music. We're gonna have a strong alt-right Nazi dancing with her in the hills to show that, look, they got a lot of very nice people on both sides. And I think that'll send the right message to people. And instead of calling them Von Trapp, which makes it sound like they're in a trap, we're going to call them Von Freedom.
Couple more questions here, Mr. President.
Let's make them lightning round because the president didn't have a stroke, but
I
the
hear you.
doctors still want him to rest.
Here we go. Three more questions.
You know what a
Sir,
couple of questions means?
I know
And
I didn't scroll and I
you just
miscounted.
very,
I
very
know.
nastily slept in a third
I know.
question.
I did. Very sneaky. So doctor,
Who's this
Lord of
from?
all, Luke S. With Travis, Chelsea Clinton, and Taylor Swift's
Wait,
engagement.
don't skip. You're skipping my introduction. Lord of, and then you stopped.
No, no, it says Lord of all, I said, and then I
Oh,
went
I didn't
out.
hear
Yeah.
excuse me, I didn't hear the oh. I
I'll
just
start
heard
again.
Lord of.
Sir, doctor, Lord of all. With Travis, Chelsea Clinton, and Taylor Swift's engagement happening, and knowing how big their wedding will probably be,
Trailer Swift.
it got me thinking, when you marry the lucky fourth Mrs. Trump, Sweeney or Boebert, what type of activities, guests, or performances will you have at your wedding to make sure you outdo anything that Taylor Swift does at her wedding?
You know, it's tough for me because when
Oh,
you
and
mention
wait, it says, thank you for answering this question with the strength of 10,000 Hulk Hogan screaming the N word, sir.
well, I try to honor him every day. Uh Obviously Swift and Chelsea Clinton will have a big wedding, celebrities, and they'll have like a dance that will be so annoying. They're probably going to sell the wedding tape to like Disney Plus, you know,
Oh,
$25 million
definitely.
dollars for the wedding tape. And she's going to be so annoying. You're going to see it in his eyes. He's a decent actor. He was good on SNL. I don't think you'll be able to tell how disappointed he is when she's like making the wedding dance all about her. Like when she's at the VMAs and it doesn't matter what song. It's the In Memoriam. We're singing about dead people. Sit down for 5 minutes, trailer. But it's very simple what we'll do. I'll be at my wedding, so it'll be a bigger deal. And obviously, Sydney Sweeney, out of great respect, you can never count her out as a fourth Mrs. Trump. Now, Lauren Boebert deserves all respect. Four time, same
Yeah.
category. The category is going to be renamed the Lauren Boebert Award. She's dominated it so much. So what I would suggest is, out of respect to Lauren Boebert, I would say our wedding, because I have to, she's the presumptive fourth Mrs. Trump. Sydney Sweeney, of course, you're gonna hear her offer. You're gonna sample the merchandise. You know, she's gonna walk into your office in heels and naked, because I think that's just how she lives. But what I would say is I will have a Sydney Sweeney booth. So instead of photos, you get to bang Sydney Sweeney in the photo booth at the wedding of Trump and Boebert. And if it's reversed by some miracle, all of a sudden Boebert gets cold feet or something happens, she votes for a Democrat, something unforgivable. It could be me and Sydney Sweeney getting married and then the Boebert hand job booth. And there's going to be nothing like that at the Swift Kelsey wedding. It'll be a bunch of her groupies trying to hook up with the football players, and it'll be a whole mess. There'll probably be sexual assault complaints and bad music. And yeah, Swift is going to be one of those ones she like sings at her own wedding. She's
Oh,
like,
she's definitely writing a song
I
for
want to
Travis,
dedicate
and
this
I
to my,
100%.
I want to dedicate this to my man. Remember we wrote a
And
song
then
for her, Red
release the
Zone.
single after that disgusting. Ugh.
Yeah, it's you know what, and I've been very nice to them, but I will say this: I think that's going to be the wedding disaster of the century.
Yeah. Um,
Although to be fair,
well,
imagine being
not
that
as bad
wedding
as
planner.
Travis Hunter's wedding. You know about Travis Hunter, the
Well,
NFL star who
I've
had,
heard. I
yeah,
feel bad for that young. To be honest, I feel bad for that young man.
yeah, it's bad.
But
We'll go
we could probably get him to be a spokesman for men's rights after this.
100%. I could see him wearing a Den Hollander shirt at warm-ups right before a game.
Just Beats headphones, just doing his warm-ups with a Roy Den Hollander shirt, and people are like, "Who's that?" It's like my spirit. I'm just getting in the zone for the game. Leave me alone. I'm just I'm fighting for men. This game is for men. He's doing his drills. He's backpedaling.
uh, Travis Hunter with his with Roy Denoller's face on it.
What if his like Nike logo is like TH and then from the TH RDH? Like that's his brand. His brand is Roy Den Hollander. His signature shoe, the Hollander.
Roy Den Hollander Hunter.
HH.
uh,
Bagels. And they could do bagels.
that's great. We'll go last question here from Sharif Jackson. Doctor, Sir. Funkmaster Flex announced he was switching time slots for his show. People assume that he was leaving the radio altogether. The man is 58 years old. Is he eligible to be the in-house DJ for Jim Crow Records?
That's a great question. We are looking to have a Fuckmaster Flex at a Mar-a-Lago event as a test run. You know, it's like, can you play Journey? And do you mind if these 70-year-old blonde women with fake breasts grind on you? Are you able to still do the, the moving of the turntables if you've got grannies with fake tits and MAGA hats trying to drool on you? And if he can pass that test, then he can become the in-house DJ at, I think it would be a nice job for him. DJing is hard work, of course, and I think it would be having like an in-house job would be very strong for him. So we would look at Funkmaster Fox, great DJ. We're gonna have him. We're gonna have him very strong. We're gonna make him a very generous offer.
Uh, well, Mr. President, I know you're a busy man. I know you're extremely healthy and don't need really any rest, but you just why not get the rest? You're the president of the United States. We appreciate you every single week joining us. Um, anything going on? Any announcements?
Well, I'd like to announce something. Obviously, we've been sending National Guard everywhere. And it's me, everybody. It's JL. Ha, gotcha. Washington, D.C. Come see me get arrested or do two shows. October 4th, D.C. Comedy Loft. Come see me there. Get your tickets. Come on, D.C. Tell your friends, blah, blah, blah. October 22nd, very big show in Philly. Need to sell a lot of tickets to that. So if you're still listening to this, tell your friends in Philly. If you're in Philly, get those tickets. And then you got a little time, obviously, before Charlotte, which is December 28th. But if you're a Charlotte or nearby resident or you have friends down there, never too early to start selling those tickets. And my Trump versus Canada special just hit 165,000 views.
There
So
we
let's
go.
let's get that let's get that to 200K and beyond if we can. It's been clicking very steady for like 2 weeks, which is nice. So yeah, that's it. Obviously, I got Rain on Your Parade every week. I got a Patreon. If you got extra bucks and you've been thinking about it or whatever, or you're just remembered because I said it. But most important thing is those shows. So DC, Philly, Charlotte, got to sell those tickets. And that's it. And remember, give this show 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts, if it's Spotify or Apple. Those help. Those, we've been a little stale. We have a lot of reviews, but no real new ones in a while. So get it done, folks. We appreciate you. And just, if you got no money to support other things, you can always give a free review. So do that. But hopefully you pay money also for stuff. And on that note, God help us all.